Okay, dokie. Welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 28th of May, 2025. I hope you're all having a wonderful day wherever and whenever you are. I see that we have no new people this week, but if you haven't been watching this on YouTube, welcome. We should organize an agenda for that call. Sorry, I'm just reading comments. We'll have a quick look at the schedule for 1.6. What did I say? It's May. So we've got the KubeVirt code freeze coming up in, 4 weeks today. Yeah, that seems extremely close. I want to have a quick look at the release checklist, even though it is... bear with me. I have a PR that will fix that. All right, around feature freeze. All right, so I need to prepare an unconference. And then 6Scale will be gathering their scale and performance data. Cool. All right. Thanks for that. Let's have a quick... Actually, I haven't updated this, so I don't think there's much point in looking at it. This is going to be old. Yep, that was yesterday. Is Daniel here? He is not. All right. I was going to ask him how StackConf was. Back to the agenda. Yeah, so this came through, I think, today. I don't know when the bug was opened, but it's listed here. It seemed something that was worth bringing up, especially the questions that they've asked at the end of it. So it seems as though that the contributor, they've already started using RISC-V for their deployment. Would we be open to incorporating RISC-V as a supported architecture in KubeVirt? Would we be open to alternate distributions apart from CentOS Stream? And I think we know the answer to the last one. Are there technical or roadmap concerns we should consider before submitting formal PRs? So I imagine that this would be good to set up as a VEP. Is that fair enough assumption?
Yes, but go on, Vlad.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a web at some point. But first of all, I think we need to understand how this will work. What is it? What is it going to involve? Is it something like supporting another hypervisor type, or we just want to run on this architecture? Yeah, I mean, if this can be, minimized into a web, then great. If not, then we need to open this up and somehow discuss.
Thanks, Vladik. That's a really good point about what the actual hypervisor is here. My assumption is like RISC-V, you can basically compile the entire stack of whatever for RISC-V, because all the components are open source. So my assumption is that it would be libvirt and KVM. But first off, let me lead with, I'm a huge RISC-V fanboy, but there's a lot of things to consider here. How are we testing it? What actual platform are we targeting? Because RISC-V is a reference architecture, not a motherboard. And so if you're just saying RISC-V in general, that could mean a great dozen many things of different nature that all reference some spec, but are they truly interchangeable? So yes, I'm open to it, but I think we may actually be a few steps of fact finding before even going to a VEP process.
Fair enough. Would you have the time in order to respond on the thread or on the issue towards that effect? I'm happy to jump in, or Vladik or Lubo, with regards to pointing them to the VEP process and that repo. Because as far as starting that conversation about the technical aspects before we get to that, you'd be able to raise that on a mailing list thread or the issue. That'd be great, Stu.
Yeah, I can do that.
Wonderful. It does look like they're happy to maintain it and the support of it. So I guess it's something that we wouldn't have to necessarily worry about. I guess it's just a matter of.
Well, their offer to maintain is missing the very critical and provide test infrastructure.
Right. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm going to jump ahead just because that's a nice segue. Speaking of test infrastructure, we met with a couple of lovely folks from ARM this week. That's Daniel and myself. And they're so for those that don't know that our test lanes have been failing because the cluster is no longer really being maintained. So they reached out and offered to help out. So they're looking at organizing us a long-term cluster. But in the meantime, they're going to set up a cloud-based one, I think, EKS bare metal or something like that, as a bit of a stopgap until they've managed to set that up. So it's not up yet. We'll be sending out something to the mailing list when that is back up and running. So confidential computing, there is a thread that was started. I think it might have a conversation that could have come out of either this meeting or the C-Compute. I don't know, I wasn't here. So we've got some confidential computing an approach in KubeVirt, but there are other approaches for other server technologies going on. So this is about standardizing and finding commonalities between the different approaches of the different groups who are interested in this. I've got the thread here if you're interested in catching up on what all of that entails. But what I proposed was that we have a meeting next week during our temporary Tuesday time slot, which is Tuesday, 3 o'clock UTC, whatever that means to you, to discuss some of these commonalities and with an idea of forming a working group as a way of moving us forward in a way that makes sense for everyone, in a way that also kind of future-proofs what we are working towards across the broader ecosystem, for lack of a better word.
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
Did we
Hello.
think to include anybody from the QEM, or QEMU or LibVirt communities in this discussion? Because they're basically our hypervisor.
Not sure. I would have to look at the thread.
Yeah, so we invited people from Reddit, various different teams that are working on confidential computing. So some of them will attend.
Cool.
And also, I believe so. I reached out to SUSE PM about this, and they put me in touch with a couple of people there that have added to that thread. And I think, but I'm not entirely sure, that one or two of those people are involved with it's not libvirt, but it's lib something on the SUSE side of things. Vladik, you've got something, PRs in priority?
Yes, I mean, Web freeze is over, and now basically we want to focus the community review bandwidth to PRs that are associated with the approved webs for this release. So we have a label that presents a nice list of these PRs, and that's pretty much it. I mean, these are the PRs that we should be focusing for this release. These are the features that we need to deliver by the end of this release cycle.
Thank you. Let me just bring that up. Alrighty. Thank you for that. So that is probably going to be a drum that we'll be banging every community meeting for the next 4 weeks, I imagine.
Yeah, should be.
We have some representation. So what we've got, compute, networking, engineering. I'm pretty sure the compute SIG does it. Networking and storage, is this something that you look at regularly in your SIG meetups?
Yes, we do.
Awesome.
Yes, we do.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll probably do it in this meeting as well. Okay. Yep. Vladek, were you going to say something?
No, sorry.
It's a sharp intake of breath. Okay, so there is no SIG compute meeting this week. That's all we have to say about that. Hopefully it'll be back next week. And KubeCon Atlanta, I thought that might be Cheryl. Cheryl, did you want to speak to this?
Yeah, let me figure out how to turn on my, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good, okay. Because I was on another tab and I have one muted and one, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, yeah, just to remind you that there's still, like, if you missed the deadline that was yesterday, there's still the co-located events, which are very appropriate for presenting for project. And then at the Maintainer Summit, that's not until July 20th. And it might be nice since we expect to have graduated by November, so it might be nice to start being at these things if we can afford to and organize it. I'm not sure which maintainers are in the US or want to come all the way to the US, given who knows what it's going to be like in November to fly to the US or
Me and Larry last week had volunteered if that's still needed.
yes, that's you and Larry. Yes. Alan, and then Vladek will probably be here too. And so maybe we could have a a co-located event with a couple people or a maintainers meeting or something. We can continue talking about these things, but those are the deadlines, because I saw oh wait, it happened yesterday. It's like, no, wait, there's more, you can still get in, your 2 cents worth to, I mean, I might want to, I'm gonna try to say something about, I sent something in yesterday, but it wasn't focused on KubeVirt. It was more about, all the various interesting challenges, we faced in both Istio and KubeVirt, in porting to different architectures, and so that was, so it's just a little bit different, but I'd like to do a KubeVirt focus thing for the either the co-located events or for the Maintainer Summit. I don't think I'm qualified to submit anything to the Maintainer Summit, but I think the co-located events we can do. So,
Yeah.
Alan, if you guys want to, did you guys submit anything or?
Yeah, I submitted a couple things. I submitted one for the KubeVirt for SEV SNP enablement. I'm sorry, say again?
Yeah, I was just acknowledging that you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I submitted that one and another one for upstream kubelet for Signode, but I think the KubeVirt one would probably be a good one for the co-located events if it doesn't get accepted.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, we can keep pushing for that. I guess it would be a shame if the hall was empty because of terrible things happening here, but you know, we can try to be there and be enthusiastic.
Yeah. Do you need us to do anything right now, or?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not like like last time, Daniel, like and all the guys in Europe um organized to have like hats with KubeVirt written on it, and t-shirts and stickers, and I'm not sure who's doing that for Atlanta. And if it needs to be me, I can help. And if I need help, I will call you, but I'm not sure what to do next. Andrew, maybe you can fill me in as to what I need to do.
Yeah, so I typically organize that kind of thing, but that is through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is through Red Hat OSPO. If there are other groups, for instance, Intel, AMD, or anything like that, who will also be there, then we can talk about how we can share that load.
Okay. I have yeah, if we'll talk. How's that? I'm just confused as to what I need to do.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Fair enough. Well, we can start a group in Slack to talk about it. And as for what we can do now, apart from that, it's just really helpful to know that we'll have people expecting to be there, which means that, yeah, I will put forward that we will apply for a KubeVirt booth in the project pavilion. Just one thing I wanted to clear up before the rumor mill starts. I don't think we'll have graduated by November. What we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, almost certainly have done by then is apply for graduation. And then there's a lengthy process as we go through the CNCF that could take any number of months. And so it's unlikely we'll be graduated by then, considering.
Okay.
Are you talking about the project as a whole, or like your PR or something, or a feature?
The project as a whole, as far as
Okay.
the CNCF graduation.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. Okay. I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, VEP19, RVM secure execution.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanted to mention it's ready for approval review. And I also wanted to mention it's not quite urgent since I'll be on vacation next week. So whatever you review, I won't answer for the next week.
I don't see Victor online. Is anyone else? Oh, okay, we've already got an LGTM. Is anyone here
Yeah, I'll take a look.
able to take a look? Thank you, Vladik. And then we've got a bunch of
days are going to be review. So I have one waiting on him as well.
Sorry, I missed half of that, Alexander. Can you please repeat?
I said I think Vladik's days are going to be review because I have some waiting on him as well. So.
As I said, I'm away next week, so my review can also wait. I just wanted to already put it in the queue because Code Freeze is upcoming.
Yeah, we'll manage.
Vladik, I believe, is excellent at delegating. And if he's not, he'll need to get excellent at delegating. Close some of these. Go client with 1.51. also at the 1.6 tags. Is anyone able to take a look at this?
Hi, Andrew. You can put me.
Okay. Thank you, Igor.
Was opened by someone, yeah, that I was speaking to before. Yeah.
Gotcha. There. Number 2. CPU model. That comes from Harvester.
I wonder if we can add Barak to this.
I don't see why not. Thank you, Barak, for volunteering.
No, I mean Barak. I think Barak worked on these things, and I'll look at this as well. But I think he will be able to provide a better answer.
He's on PTO today. He will be available tomorrow.
Okay. Is this an issue with the container disk? What does DosieBot say?
Yeah, I think that for this one, it should be the KubeVirt itself would need to be rebuilt to provide the OMF, and then they can set it up on the KubeVirt CR. But there's no way to do this without rebuilding.
Okay. Is that something you're able to add to this issue, this bug?
Yeah, sure. Maybe
you.
CC me, please.
I'm a little new, but I have a question. Could he not open the pod and download the OVMF manually if you wanted to work around it without rebuilding everything?
Pardon me, I didn't catch you.
But he would need to do it before the VM starts, right? I mean, when we create the pod and before the VM starts.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
I did once an ugly. Oh, sorry. I did once an ugly hack. It's using sidecar image. You can, but it's not that good. You can share files and then point to the var1 KubeVirt hooked. You can compile a sidecar image.
Oh, okay.
But also the rebuild can be very simple. You can just, have a Docker file, reference the one Virt launcher image you are using, and on top of it, just do DNF install something or whatever however you want to get the OMFs there. So it's can be one liner basically.
Okay.
Alrighty. Igor, I'm just going to mute you. Sorry. VM not responding. 151 conversions. Okay, so doesn't sound like that should be a thing. Is there a known issue with creating a second VM with the same name after the first was deleted?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Is anyone able to take a more in-depth look at this?
You can assign me if there are no volunteers.
We also have to get good at delegating. Thank you, Lubo. One more. Short and sweet.
As far as I do remember, this is very intentional to actually have the code and we can compile it and then use it, but maybe we can revisit it.
Okay.
I ran into this issue too, but you can just ignore it, right?
It should be just warning, yes.
Okay.
I am just going to tag you again, Lubo. Do we know, we have it time. Do we know if, because I'm pretty sure there's been an update to GitHub, if we now tag with a SIG label, is it able to alert people from that? Or do I have to tag Lubo to raise it?
It depends if you have a team for the SIG. If you have a team, then yes, it should notify the people.
Yeah, we don't have a team. It's not. I don't think it's managed. It could, but it doesn't. You will need something to either automatically or manually manage the teams.
Okay. Good to know. Well, we'll do it the old-fashioned way for now. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Let's have a quick look. Oh, Alay Patel has jumped in at the last minute.
Hey, sorry, I was hoping to go to SIG compute call to do this, but it looks like it got canceled today. So I added this last minute.
Okay. Well, there are some SIG compute people here, and we are eating at a time. So yeah, you're looking for a review for this?
Yes, this is for Web 10, smaller sets of PRs. I think these are dependencies for the bigger work that is to follow. So hoping to get unblocked soon on these.
Okay.
If Lubo and Vladik are here.
Yeah, I think Lubo said that he's going to look at this.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. I was just traveling today, so not much time, but definitely tomorrow.
Okay,
I will
thank
start
you.
with the QRCI.
And Ale, what's the status with the rest of the PRs? Or are they dependent on this?
Yeah, they are. So the rest of the PRs are, I have rebased it on these two PRs. So they are definitely dependent. And I've made progress all the way up to the status controller. The only thing that is pending is converting that status into Virt launcher code and DOM XML. That is pending. I'll do that next week.
Mm-hmm.
I will be on PTO starting tomorrow, but hopefully by then, if I get some feedback on this, we can merge this and rebase it appropriately.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you all for attending this week's community meeting with just a hint of SIG compute there at the end. Yeah, if there's no one has anything to add just at the last minute. Then I'll bid you adieu. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.